So good morning everyone, my name is Lalit Soni and I welcome you all in this live session by Drishti IAS. In this session we will be discussing today's Indian Express newspaper. So first we will see we will have a look at the front page. Here there are certain news articles like ED remand ending, CM will be in Delhi court today, no interim relief for Kejriwal, High Court grants ED time to respond to pleas. Okay, so basically there was this plea related to the bail etc. in the High Court, but High Court said that they are not willing to interfere as of now. So that is one thing. They have set another date, that is April 3 for the disposal of that particular plea. Okay, but the thing is, for our concern is that Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, he is saying that Delhi government will not be run from the jail. Now the larger question is that can a CM work, or you can say serve as a CM from inside the jail? Okay, so we will discuss on that question. Afterwards we will have this article which is related to your Lalit Kala Academy. Okay, so Lalit Kala Academy chief's power curbs by cultural ministry. Now question is not that government has curbed this power and why they have done it. Okay, that we will see in the further how this news comes up. But the thing is, right now the Lalit Kala Academy is in news, so I would want you to prepare a note about this particular institution, because it will be of a particular use in prelims. There is this tendency wherein UPSC asks related questions like that. Okay, so from the front page that will be our two important news articles. Then there will be India TB report 2024. So we will talk about this TB report, what are the data. Then as I told you, Lalit Kala Academy related, there will be some small discussion. Then T+0 settlement. When we are talking about the money market, or when we are saying that the stock market, okay, so there is this institution, that is SEBI, and SEBI has come up with a proposal T+0 settlement, okay, a long while back, and now they have come up with the beta version. Okay, so we will be seeing what is this T+0 settlement is. Okay, now can a CM serve while inside the jail? Okay, so we will talk about that particular issue as well. We will start with the practice question which was given to you in the last class, and then we will end with a practice question for the next class. Okay, so let's start. So practice question for you was, which group of islands in the South China Sea is claimed by multiple countries? Okay, we have discussed this particular South China Sea related issue, wherein recently Philippines and China they are having some kind of struggle in the South China Sea. Okay, in that regard we have discussed this particular area. Here I have talked about this islands, that is Paracel Island, Scarborough Shoal, then Spratly Islands. Okay, so these are some contested islands between the countries of this particular area. Okay, so among our options, Spratly Islands, Cocos Island, Christmas Island, and La Reunion Island. So when we are talking about this Cocos and La Reunion and Christmas Island, these are basically, you can say, they are part of Indian Ocean. Okay, and Christmas Islands are basically, you can say, southeast of Indian Ocean. Okay, so this particular island, Spratly Island group, that is from the South China Sea. So option A would be your right answer. I would want you to go through location of these islands as well. Okay, they might ask you. Then coming to the first article of the day, that is related to India TB report 2024. Missing cases are shrinking. 95% got treatment in 2023. Okay, so first we will see what are these missing cases. Okay, so this report says that there is a methodology from which government comes up with the, or you can say these institutions come up with the estimated TB cases. Like they estimate what kind of or what percentage will be the burden of this particular disease. Okay, so here they estimate some cases, and then there is the number of cases which are reported. First they have estimated that there would be, let's say, 100 cases, but number of cases which are reported to the government or to the hospital or the private hospitals, that cases are, let's say, around 95. Okay, there were estimation of 100 cases, but there was 95 cases which were registered, or you can say they have been identified. Okay, so these are called case which are reported. So whatever gap is there, that is a gap of 5 cases, that gap is called missing cases, because these cases are not coming to the record. Okay, now government is saying that this particular, or you can say this particular report is saying that, which is by the Union Health Ministry. Okay, so government is saying that these missing cases are reducing. Okay, here you can see that estimated cases were actually 27.8 lakhs, and reported cases are 25.5 lakhs. So there is a, you can say, some cases which has been missing in between. Okay, so these cases are basically 2.3 lakh cases are missing cases. Earlier they were 3.2 lakhs. Okay, in 2023 last year they were 3.2 lakhs, they have shrunken to 2.3 lakhs. So government is saying that these missing cases are actually shrinking. What does that mean? That means that the approach, or you can say access to health facilities has increased. Government has, or the healthcare facilities has penetrated to the remote areas as well. Okay, we know that there are various schemes, Ayushman Bharat Yojana, etc. According to those things or the initiatives which has been taken by the government regarding TB program. Okay, so we will be seeing those initiatives, based on which we are saying that there is this improvement, that these unreported cases are also being now reported. Okay, so that is one thing which has been discussed in this particular, you can say, article. Here you can see there is the data, estimation data, wherein TB report 2020 says there was this 26.9, then it increased to 27.4, then 27.8. So you can say that TB burden is increasing. Okay, when we are talking about the reported number of cases are also increasing. Okay, here you can say 24.2 and now it is 25.5 lakhs. So it is also increasing. Okay, now another thing was that earlier most of the cases were actually being reported to the government hospitals. Okay, now recently even private hospitals are actually getting these cases. Okay, so nearly 32.90%, or you can say 33% cases are registered in the private hospitals as well. So they are also playing their role. Then estimated mortality, the fatalities because of the this particular disease, they are actually reducing. Earlier in 2020 that was 4.36 lakhs, which has reduced to 3.2 lakh, and still they are on the 3.2 lakh. Okay, so the good thing is that it is not increasing as per the burden is increasing. Okay, now coming to the article here. These are some important things which we have already discussed. Now you have to remember one thing, that is burden of the TB is increasing, missing cases are shrinking, and whatever cases which we are identifying or reported cases are there, we are providing nearly 95% people a treatment. Okay, if the case is reported, then 95% of the people are getting a treatment. Okay, now the gap between the estimated numbers and the actual cases of the tuberculosis is closing, that is the missing cases gap that is closing. TB India TB report 2024, this is been released by Union Health Ministry. Missing cases are assumed to have not have received treatment, continuing to spread the infection to others. Now when we are talking about these missing cases, since they are not being reported, so we are assuming that since they are not reported, they are also not getting treated, and since they are not getting treated, they are in the public domain, in the vicinity of the people in the nearby area, and TB is a disease which transmits through air. Okay, so that is why these missing cases or the unreported cases are basically, you can say, a carrier of the that particular disease. Okay, so that is why that is a cause of concern, because it is continue to spread the infection to others. 2.3 lakh missing cases in 2023 as compared to 3.2 lakh, which was we already have discussed over here. Okay, the gap has been reducing over the years. Nikshay portal tracking all TB patients. Now this is a program which has been launched by Government of India related to this you can say tracking the people who are having TB, that is Nikshay. Okay, then majority of the TB cases are still reported by the government health centers, that is nearly 66%, which we have seen, because 33% are being taken care by the private hospitals. Now the mortality due to the infection remained at 3.2 lakhs as per the data, it is same. Then the report shows that the India reached its 2023 target of initiating treatments in 95% of the people diagnosed with the infection. So which we have seen, 58% of the diagnosed were offered a test to check whether their infection was resistant to the first line drugs. Okay, resistance to the first line drugs. So what happens, these microbes, or when we are talking about these bacteria, they generate resistance to the certain drugs. Okay, because these drugs are used again and again, and they are not being taken by the patients seriously. When a medicine practitioner tell you for a particular dose, or they are saying that you have to take a medicine for at least 1 month, okay, but you are taking it for 2-3 days and then you are breaking the chain, then you are going ahead again to the doctor, then you are taking it for a while. So basically what is happening is that in those small doses, that microbe will generate a resistance. Just like our own body, if you have a virus inside your body will develop some kind of resistance to that virus. So second time that infection will be there, already our white blood cell will have that antibody that will fight that particular virus, okay. Now same case is with this particular drugs as well. Now when these drugs are basically come to interaction with these microbes, what happens that they also start generating this resistance, okay. So there are certain cases when this first line of defense, or you can say first line of drugs, is not working on certain people because they have generated this resistance, okay. So now 58% of the people are also being tested whether they have this particular drug working on them, or the microbe, or you can say that bacteria has generated the ability to resist that, okay. So this is about your TB report. Mostly things are covered here. 2 or 3 data are there which you can remember, that is related to these missing cases, and 95% of the reported cases are getting treated, okay. Now moving further, there are certain things we will be talking about, certain initiatives which are in this domain, that is Pradhan Mantri TB Mukt Bharat Abhiyan, okay. So this particular Abhiyan, when we are talking about, it is an initiative of Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. That is obvious because this is a particular disease is there. So this ministry is involved to accelerate the country's progress towards TB elimination by 2025. Now we have a target of TB elimination by 2025, and when we are talking about sustainable development goal, they have target by 2030. So we are ahead of sustainable development goals. Now components of this particular Pradhan Mantri TB Mukt Bharat Abhiyan, here you can say Nikshay Mitra initiative, okay. It is to ensure additional diagnostic, nutrition and vocational support to the TB patients. That is one thing. Then what is Nikshay Mitra? Nikshay Mitra donor. So basically there are certain people who are taking responsibility of a disease of a person, or you can say the treatment of the that particular disease, or it's like adopting a patient, okay. So Nikshay Mitra is a person who is adopting a patient and taking care of their expenses related to the treatment, okay. Are those who can support by adopting health facilities for individual donors. Now Nikshay digital portal, it will provide a platform for community support for person with the TB, okay. So these are certain things which are component under this Pradhan Mantri TB Mukt Bharat Abhiyan. Other than that, there are other initiatives as well. Here you can see India's national TB elimination program, okay. It is strengthened to meet the goal of ending TB epidemic by 2025 from the country, 5 years ahead of the sustainable development goal target, that is 2030, okay, which we have discussed. Then next is National Strategic Plan NSP for tuberculosis elimination, that is 2017 to 2025. We are under this plan right now. Then the Nikshay ecosystem TB national TB information system, okay. So they have made a database regarding that. TB Harega Desh Jitega campaign, okay, that is also for the elimination, or you can say treatment of TB. Then Nikshay Poshan Yojana, herein you are getting a financial benefit of rupees 500 to the patient, okay. So these are certain initiatives which has been taken by the Indian government. Now talking about the tuberculosis itself, it is an infectious disease caused by Mycobacterium tuberculosis, okay. It is commonly affects the lungs, but can also affect the other organs of the body. It is treatable and curable disease. We are talking about the treatment of this particular thing. Then transmission is from person to person through air, which we have seen. Symptoms are cough with sputum and blood at times, chest pains, weakness, weight loss, fever, night sweats, okay. So these are some symptoms. Vaccine, there is this Bacilli Calmette Guerin, or you can say BCG vaccine for TB diseases. So we have a vaccine for TB as well. So this is about this article about TB. Since it was in news, there is a report, there are high chances they might ask you a question, and generally what they do is, if there is a current portion attached to it, they are trying to target static as well, okay. So that is why we have taken this particular slide, wherein certain important information of TB is given, okay. In the previous slide we have talked about the initiatives of Indian government, okay. Now moving further to the next article, which is related to Lalit Kala Academy. Now this article per se is not important, but the thing is, since Lalit Kala Academy is in news, so there are high chances they might ask you from the static. Okay, it is part of your art and culture, so there are chances they might ask you. Lalit Kala Academy chief's power curved by the cultural ministry. So there is no reason which is cited yet. Culture ministry is saying that there are certain direction which has been given to him, he did not follow it. Okay. So here you can see Ministry of Culture has curtailed the power of Lalit Kala Academy chairman V. Nagdas, barring him from taking any administrative actions including matters related to appointment, recruitment, transfer, disciplinary action and the financial decisions without consulting the ministry. So he cannot take any decision without consulting the ministry. Now order was sent in view of certain decisions taken by the chairman and cites his failure to respond to earlier complaints and also alleges non-compliance with the ministry's administrative directions. Okay, so these are certain things. There is this rule 19(1)(a) of General Rules and the Regulation of Lalit Kala Academy. You are hereby directed under this particular rule. They have given this order wherein he cannot take any decision. Okay, so government had the power and they have utilized it under this rule, that is 19(1) of General Rules and Regulation of Lalit Kala Academy. That is not important for us. Now important part of this article is that what is Lalit Kala Academy. Okay, the academy was inaugurated August 5th, 1954 by the then Honorable Minister for Education Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad. Now the thing is, they might confuse you with Ministry of Culture. Okay, so please remember that he was Minister of Education. Okay, so that is one thing. Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad has inaugurated this particular institution. The academy was given statutory authority in 1957. Okay, 1954 it was established, and in 1957 they have given a statutory authority. Okay, and this is under Societies Registration Act 1860. Okay. What is the aim? Aim is to promoting the creative endeavors of the Indian artisans or artists and bringing their art to bear upon a large number of people, thereby playing an important role in defining and redefining the sensibility of an entire culture falling under the visual art spectrum. So when they are basically promoting the arts and the artists. Okay, then headquarters is in New Delhi. Lalit Kala Academy organizes art exhibitions and the award ceremonies every year to promote art as well as to honor the talents. Okay, so that is about Lalit Kala Academy. These two facts are quite important for you, just remember that. Okay, now moving further, the next article which is related to your CM, Delhi CM. Okay, hold on a second. See, now prelims are coming, so I hope your preparations are going well. So don't spend too much time on the newspaper now. Just try to go through the newspaper, give it like some 1 hour to newspaper and try to extract more information related to prelims. Okay, when mains will come, we will go for the editorial analysis, etc. But the thing is, right now focus on this particular thing, which is which will fetch you more, which will give you an advantage in the prelims. Okay, now coming to the ED remand ending, or which we have already discussed. So the question here was in this article was whether a CM in jail can serve in his office. So basically, can he direct or the you can say serve the nation or the state by being inside the jail. Okay, so there are certain things that there is no rule which says that he cannot. Okay, there are certain incidences wherein a chief minister can be removed. Okay, but that is not one of them. Okay, other than that also, until unless a person is convicted, he cannot be disqualified. He is not convicted yet, so that is also one thing. So now what is the problem? Can he be a CM or not? So technically there is no rule saying that he cannot be, but the thing is, Lieutenant Governor has special power at a time when he seems that the constitutional machinery of the state is getting failed, or certain directions by the union government are not getting fulfilled. In such cases, he can send a report to president saying that there is a need of president's rule. Okay, in that case, president will get, or you can say union government will get authority over that particular state. Right now we are talking about a union territory of NCT, or you can say Delhi. So basically they have special provisions in the constitution. So let's see what are the provisions and what is this question saying. Basically, can a sitting CM hold office while in the jail? There is a question arising, can a CM or chief minister serve while in the jail? Legal provisions, according to the expert, there is no constitutional or legal provision that can prohibit a CM from serving while in the jail. Okay, so these are certain experts which are saying that there is no such rules. Okay, now role of lieutenant governor in Delhi. While there is no legal bar on Kejriwal continuing as a CM, the lieutenant governor has critical role to play. The LG can recommend the imposition of the president's rule. Okay, how can he recommend, or how can he do that? There is a constitutional provision related to that. We will talk about that. According to the rules, CM loses position if he or she loses the majority in the house. That is not the case. Okay, his or her party asked him to step down. That is not the case in this particular scenario. He or she resigns from the position. So he has not done that as well. On disqualification, as per section 8 of the Representation of the People's Act 1951, conviction is required for disqualification. Now conviction of an offence is required. Here there is no conviction. He is there on the custody. Okay, so conviction, there is no conviction, so obviously he is not disqualified. So these are certain cases wherein a chief minister can lose his position. Okay, so none of these things are here. Now role of LG. Now only thing is that LG can recommend president to go for a president rule. In that case, he will not be able to continue as a or you can say he will not be able to use his power as a CM. Now associated constitutional provisions. Article 239A of the Indian Constitution. Now this article is very important for you. It has been in news for a while, various reasons, because you know that there is a tussle between Lieutenant Governor versus CM in Delhi. Okay, so in that regard this article becomes important. Other than that, now this particular case, in that case this article is important. It defines the role of elected government, the Lieutenant Governor and the Parliament when it comes to Delhi. Okay, so it is a specific article which is dedicated to Delhi. The entire powers of the elected government and the CM of the Delhi has its origin in the provision of the constitution. However, LG has power to recommend suspending of the operation of this particular provisions. Okay, so this is the provision which says that what are the power of different people like LG, CM, Parliament. Okay, now Lieutenant Governor has special power under Article 239AB, wherein he can suspend this particular article here. Okay, so here you can see it gives power to the Lieutenant Governor to recommend to the President of India to suspend the operation of Article 239AA. Okay, so basically here they are saying that the power role of elected government is decided in that elected government of the Delhi will be basically taking the administrative decisions over there. But the thing is, there is one condition wherein under Article 239AB, Lieutenant Governor can go for a president's rule. He can recommend the president's rule. Then this article will be suspended. Okay. Now, what are the conditions? Two conditions where he thinks that constitutional machinery is failed, or you can say state is not working as per the constitutional provisions. Second thing is any direction which has been given by the union government to the state is not being followed. Okay. So now these are the two conditions wherein it can happen. Okay, so let's see what LG does in this case. Now moving to the other article that is related to your optional T+0 settlement from today. Okay, now they are saying that this is optional and T+0 settlement. T here is time plus 0. So it's just that there is no extra time, there is no time lag. Okay, so when you are going for any kind of transaction, that will reflect in some you can say immediately or in some 2 or 3 hours. Okay, so when we are talking about this Bombay Stock Exchange or the NSE, in this stock exchanges, when you are going for any kind of transaction, that will reflect after at least 1 day. Okay, so right now the time frame is T+1. Okay, so that is T+1 day. So they will take it will take this transaction to reflect in your demat account. There will be 1 day, or you can say, let's say you have sold certain share. Okay, you had, let's say, particular stock and you have sold it. So the amount of money that will reflect inside your bank, that will take at least 1 day. Okay, or if there is a weekend, then it might take 3 days as well. So that is the reason now government is going for T+0 settlement. Means that after that operation is done or the market is closed, they will take nearly 2 or 3 hours. Okay, and then they will go for the settlement. So it will not take one day, it will be some matter of few hours only. Okay. Now BSE will not, BSE and NSE will introduce trading in T+0 rolling settlement cycle in equity segment on an optional basis from March 28. So basically they are going for the equity segment only and not for the all mutual funds etc., just for the equity segment. Okay. The beta version of the T+0 settlement cycle or the same day settlement, okay, or you can also call it as same day settlement, is going to be launched for a set of 25 scripts, or you can say 25 companies, okay, with a limited set of brokers. Last week, Security and Exchange Board of India (SEBI) is issued operational guidelines for the launch of this particular settlement cycle. Okay. Now, what is T+0 settlement cycle? As I told you, existing there is a cycle of T+1. They will take at least one day for the settlement of the transaction, or you can say to reflect it in your bank accounts. Okay. But now that is not the case. What will happen is that that will take nearly few hours. Okay. So earlier what used to happen is that you have gone for the transaction, like you have sold the share. So it will take nearly 1 day for the amount to reflect inside your bank. Now, or in the case you have purchased, so you have made the payment, then these particular stocks will reflect inside your demat account after at least 1 day. Okay. But now they are saying that after that market is closed, or for that matter they have also fixed the timeline for this particular transaction as well. So after that timeline ends, in 3 to 4 hours that will be settled. Okay. Now under T+0 trade cycle, the settlement of the trades will happen on the same day after closure of the T+0 market. This T+0 market, they are saying that that will start from 9:15 to I guess 12:15. Okay, we will see, we'll confirm that. Okay, sorry, 9:15 to 1:30. 9:15 to 1:30 that market will work. Okay, and afterwards it will close. After closing of that market, in 2 or 3 hours you will get your transaction settled by 4:30 p.m. Okay, so that is the idea behind it. If investors sell a share, they will get the money credited to their account on the same day. If the buyer will also get the share in the in their demat account on the very same day of the transaction. Okay, so which we have already discussed. Now what are the benefits? Obviously 2 or 3 things are there when you are going for such transaction, and then your transaction is reflecting after 1 day. Okay, or if there is a weekend, it will take 3 days. So the thing is, now that money is being, you can say, trapped for 3 days. Okay, so you cannot do anything about that particular money because you have already spent, and if you have sold the share, that money will reflect inside your account after 1 day. So that money is trapped. In case you need liquidity at hand, or you can say you need money in the urgent matter, and you have sold some share, but you have to wait for 1 day. Now that wait time will be over. Okay, so here benefit is that cost and the time efficiency will be there. There will be transparency in the charges to the investors, strengthen the risk management. Okay, faster payout. It will allow better control over the funds and the security by the investors. Okay, so they can control it better. If there is a some kind of change in the market, or market sentiments are changing, the price of the stocks are changing, you can go for the purchasing and buy in matter of 2 or 3 hours only. Okay, now free up the capital in the security market, enhancing the overall market efficiency. As I told you, this capital can be trapped for 1 day, but that will this particular T+0 settlement will free up this particular capital. Okay, now who can participate in the T+0 cycle? All investors who are eligible, because eligible means that all the requirements which are given by the guidelines of SEBI, if they are fulfilled by the investor, then investor can be eligible for that. All investors are eligible to participate in the segment of T+0 trade settlement cycle if they are able to meet timelines, process and risk requirements as described by the market infrastructure institutions. Okay, then what are the trade timing? As I told you, from 9:15 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. and by 4:30 your transaction will be settled in your bank account. Okay, what will be the price band? Okay, so they are saying that whatever price band is there in your T+1 segment, whatever prices or the charges are there in the T+1 segment, they will charge plus 100 basic points, or you can say plus 1%. Okay, and how this price will be decided? If there is a change in the T plus 1 cycle price or the charges, if there is a change of 50 basic points or you can say 0.5%, then this will change. Otherwise, if there is a change which is less than 50 basic points or you can say 0.25%, in that case the existing rate will actually work, and as soon as it reaches the 50 basic point or 0.5% change, then they will also reflect in the you can say T plus 0 settlement charges as well. Okay. So for you, only thing is to remember is that there will be a 1% extra charge. Okay. So that is about T plus 0 settlement and what are the benefits related to it and what is it about. Okay. Now moving further, next article which is related to your around the world. Now uptick in the Chinese vessels presence in the Indian Ocean region. So we have seen that in recently there are these Chinese vessels which are present in the Indian Ocean region. You can say in a year there are nearly 12 to 15 vessels you can see, or you can say at a particular point of time you can see nearly 3 vessels. Okay, vessels here are basically the ships. Okay, they are saying that they are here for any kind of survey, let's say hydrological survey, etc. Okay, now our problem is that they have a continuous presence in this particular area that can be harmful for India's interest. Other than that also, when we are talking about these vessels are here for the hydrological survey, etc. But the thing is they have capacity or to map the seabed, etc. and that can be used for any kind of submarine related activities as well. Okay, so that can be used against India. So come to this article. The presence of the Chinese research and the fishing vessels in the Indian Ocean region has been seeing an uptick over the last few years. Hydrological survey vessels as well as the satellite tracking vessels are present here. Okay, it is observed that nearly 12 to 15 ships get deployed in the Indian Ocean region in over a year. On average, there will be about 3 vessels in Indian Ocean region at any given time. Okay, in the backdrop of the Indian planning to test nuclear ballistic missile in the fortnight, we are planning a nuclear ballistic missile test. So Chinese are actually basically making sure that they are present in that area and they can track the movement of that missile. Okay, so here Chinese ship which can track the satellites and the missiles has started sailing into the Indian Ocean region earlier this month. This would be the 4th ship in the region. Okay, so they are trying to track that nuclear ballistic missiles which has been which is to be tested by India. They are trying to track it. Okay. Now hydrological or hydrographical research vessels are well equipped with the to undertake multifarious activities, geological researches, bathymetric data collection, seabed sampling and underwater current profiling, laying and maintenance of bios are among some data which they can collect through these particular vessels. Okay, so these are the data they can collect and these data can be used or you can say that can be utilized in the submarine activities. It is also possible that the data collected can be utilized for the Chinese PLA, People's Liberation Army of China. Okay, the Navy submarine operations in Indian Ocean region. Okay, maintained outside the Indian exclusive economic zone, that is EEZ. They are still outside the Indian exclusive economic zone because obviously they cannot enter it, but even Indian Army or Indian Navy is basically they are also trying to make sure that they are staying outside that. They are also trying to survey their activities over there. Okay, so that is about now this particular article. Now the thing is they will not ask you these things. Okay, but now because of this particular activity, Indian Ocean region is in news. And there are certain things which are basically prominent in the Indian Ocean region. So now come to the map of Indian Ocean region. Here you know that China has this string of pearls policy wherein they are trying to basically cover India, the maritime boundary of India. Here you can see that this is China and then they are trying to make some ports or they are trying to take these ports on lease or they are trying to make some bases in different countries. So in Cambodia, Laos, and then we are saying that in Myanmar also there is this port that is Kyakpyo. Okay, then in Bangladesh Chittagong port is there. This port in Sri Lanka, that is Hambantota, that is taken by China on the lease. And then in Malé or Maldives, you know that Maldives is recently getting closer to China, so that is also concerned. Okay, then Gwadar port of Pakistan, which we have recently talked about because it was in news because there was this terrorist activity which has happened here and wherein nearly 3 to 4 Chinese engineers were being the target over there. Then here we have this Khartoum and Djibouti. Okay, so all these things, here we have Djibouti. Okay, so all these things are basically you can say strategy of China to make sure that they can cover India from all these sides. Okay, why? Because this route here from the Malacca Strait, that is quite important of China for their oil requirements. So this is the oil shipment route for China. Okay, so that is why they want to secure this as well, because India is quite close to the Malacca Strait. Okay, if India tries to do something notorious in the Malacca, then China's trade will be hampered. Okay, so that is one thing. Other than that, also we know that China and India are kind of rival in this particular area, so they are trying to do that. So in response to this particular thing, now India has also gone for another strategy. We will talk about that, but I would want you to remember all these things, all these points. Specifically, I would say Djibouti, then Gwadar, then this Kwakpyo, Hambantota, and this Maldives one. Okay, so all these ports you should, all these bases or the ports which are important, you should keep in mind. Okay, so this is the map of Indian Ocean, which these things can be important from the point of view of string of pearls. Okay, the India is countering this initiative by diamond necklace or necklace of diamond. India is also going for some islands, some maritime countries, and some countries which can help us cover China from the strategic you can say strategic point of view. Here Japan is our ally, we have Quad. Okay, then Vietnam, here Singapore, Indonesia, Sabang port, you must have heard about it, and then these Assumptions Islands in Seychelles, then we have this in Oman we have Duqm, okay, and then this Chahabar port in Iran and in Mongolia. Okay, so Mongolia is a country which is landlocked, we know that, but the thing is with Mongolia we have good ties. Okay, so they are basically trying to cover China as well. Okay, so that is the idea behind necklace of diamond. This is not a official strategy. Okay, this is a name which has been given by experts to India's efforts in this particular area. India is doing these efforts. Okay, India has gone for cordial relations with the Vietnam, they have gone for the cordial relationship in Mongolia. So experts has seen that India is trying to make something like that. Okay, but this is not an official strategy, this is just an expert's opinion. Okay, so these are certain points which you must remember. In string of pearls we have talked about these Gwadar, Djibouti, Hambantota, Kwakpyo. Okay, and then when we are talking about necklace of diamond, here we have talked about Vietnam, Sabang port of Indonesia, Assumptions Island of Seychelles, and this Chabar port of Iran. Okay, and Changi in Singapore. Okay, so this is what I wanted to tell you from this particular article. I hope this is clear. Okay, now moving further to the next article, that is related to China Lanka signs 9 pacts as the hold talk with the Gunvar Dena. Okay, so basically he is right now Prime Minister of Sri Lanka. Okay, you know that earlier Sri Lanka and China had good relations at the time of Rajapaksa. Okay, and what happens later that they have gone for certain treaties, certain loans from China, and ultimately they have to give their Hambantota port to China on lease of 99 years. Okay, now also again they are going to sign some pacts with China. They are saying that we are trying to reconstruct their own economy, because their Sri Lanka's economy was actually in chaos, but now they are trying to reconstruct it. They have signed various pacts with India as well. Okay, and it is foreign policy how they manage their relations with a particular country, that is their own concern. But now they are going again to China for certain things. Okay, China and Sri Lanka on Wednesday signed 9 new agreements as Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena met Chinese President Xi Jinping. Okay, Colombo's efforts to restructure its or to revive its bankrupt economy. Okay, called for consolidation of the friendly relations between China and Sri Lanka. China is willing to work with Sri Lanka to carry forward the spirit of Rubber Rice Pact. Okay, so now this is the important thing here, is that Rubber Rice Pact. Now why it is important? This is normally a term which has been given by experts to the trade between, or the, you can say, economic relations between Sri Lanka and China. So just remember that. Okay, just like we use this roti beti ka relationship with Nepal and India, so like that they have used this term, that is Rubber Rice Pact. Okay, which is characterized by the independence, self-reliance, unity and mutual support to consolidate political mutual trust and the enhance exchange of experience in the governance, expand practical cooperation and the advance high quality belt and road cooperation. operations. Okay, so basically this rubber rice pact is talking about this particular thing, or you can say economic aspect of the China and Sri Lanka relations. So this is important because this has been, I think, first or second time we have seen this term in the newspaper. So there are chances they might go for it. Chinese leader assured Beijing support to Colombo's debt restructuring process as the island nations try to reconstruct its bankrupt economy. China is Sri Lanka's largest bilateral lender, owing 52% of the USD 40 million external debt when Sri Lanka announced its sovereign default in 2022. When we are talking about this particular default which has been announced by the Sri Lanka in 2022, they were having 40 billion loan. Okay, 40 billion US dollar loan, and 52% of which was from China. Okay, and that is why they have to do certain agreements with China as well. Okay, because China has this big pockets and they go for the transactional nature of the relationship. Transactional nature means that you will give us something, we will give you the debt. Okay, or we will give you the loan, we will give you the money, you have to give something in return, and ultimately they had to give the ambandota. Okay. So that is about this China and Sri Lanka. Now coming to the last portion, that is related to that last article, that is related to Thailand sets to legalize same-sex marriage as parliament clears a bill. Okay, so in PCS etc. they might ask you this, but otherwise this is not important. Okay, I just taken it for just to tell you that now Thailand is also there, they will legalize same-sex marriages. Okay, and just tell me, what about the status of same-sex marriage in India? Are they legal in India? You have to reply in the comment box. Okay. Now moving further, and the last part of our discussions, that is for your own read. We have talked about this employment report yesterday. Based on that, there is this article. There are certain key takeaways which you can take from this particular article. And we have discussed it in our other program, that is in news, that was also discussed. So you can watch that as well. Okay. Otherwise, we have discussed it in yesterday's newspaper analysis. Okay. So you can take something out of this particular thing, and way forward I would suggest that just please read this way forward. Okay. Now practice question for your prelims, that is, what role do Indian Ocean Islands nation play in India's necklace of diamond policy? Options are: A, they provide strategic location to counter string of pearls policy of China. They serve as the economic hubs for India's trade and investment in initiatives. They act as buffer against the piracy activities in the region. They facilitate cultural exchange and tourism promotion. Okay, so you have to attempt this question, answer in the comment box. With that, I would like to take your leave. I hope your prelims preparations are going well. Okay, so with that, I'll wrap up the session. I'll see you in the next episode. Till then, have a good day. Thank you.